How do you balance a love for the United States with a hatred for like control? You know what I mean? Like how, because I want to love this country so much because we're built on so many good things, but then you have government programs and government people and government things going on that are overreaching their bounds, overstepping their bounds, and doing bad things that aren't for the good of the American people. It's like, how do you balance that out to be a patriotic person but still skeptical of what they do?
So there's two groups, apparently. You've got the white hats and the black hats. The white hats are all the people who are working for us and working for our government, working for the people, trying to control and either expose, snuff out, work against these dark players, you know, like the deep state, you would call it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But even the deep state has, you know, they've got far-reaching arms. So they've got dark programs everywhere that nobody even knows about. You know? We were talking about, you know, hoping Trump would have like released some info on like aliens or shed some light on stuff. And it's a really interesting point that I saw in one of these programs where they were talking about the presidential position while we are all programmed to look at it as the highest office in the land. It's a temp job. You know what I mean? They're a temporary employee.
Yep.
So they're not always privy to all the information.
No.
You know? The longest they can work for us is 8 years.
8 years.
So they're really like, it's a revolving door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how much of it is a figurehead position, you know, like the Queen of England. You think she's got power? I mean,
she's so old, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like like that oligarchy is like it's kind of hard to believe they exist. Whereas while you know Parliament, like the parliamentary power is actually where the seat of government is, but they still allow this royal thing to happen.
Very weird.
But they don't control the whole country from one seat. You know what I mean?
It's almost as if there's a front. They're like the front, and there's stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like this
They're
is just
like
a show.
Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You know
like a
what I mean?
show. And so I'm assuming then there are people, and obviously this is a thing. It has to be. There are people that have more power than any of these presidents and world leaders. There's a group that kind of orchestrates what kind of goes on, and they kind of know everything what's going on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's just
one of the best examples are all of the world banks. The countries that we have the most issues with, they don't have national banks. Like they don't have world banks. So like North Korea, Iran, I don't think there's one in Syria.
Really?
I think Libya doesn't have one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so, you know, who's fighting for these countries to either open or keep them closed? I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I'm a firm believer that North Korea is the world's largest black site. And whoever actually owns that country, which I don't believe it's Kim Jong-un, I believe he's just a player. Whoever actually owns that country, they can go in there and do whatever they want. I mean, that's...
What do you mean black site?
So the CIA and some of these intelligence groups they'll set up these sites that don't exist. They're called black sites.
Huh. Was this kind of what you were sending me in Antarctica or whatever, North Pole, like where it was like a big area and like they were zooming in and it looked like all these weird things?
Yeah, that's Antarctica.
Really?
Here's something crazy about Antarctica that I just read today. You know John Kerry?
Yep.
John Kerry, in 2016, for the election, he went down to Antarctica for some reason. Guess where he was?
What?
Yeah, guess where he was for this election?
Antarctica?
He went down to Antarctica. So what the hell's going on? That's really weird, and it's weird that it's public information.
How you can? This is a public thing you can look up. John Kerry was in Antarctica.
Yeah, actually, let me find it. I'll find the screenshot of the tweets.
What is there even anything down there to visit?
Oh yeah, there's yeah.
Really?
We're not allowed to go there.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you want to get in a plane, you can't go.
Can't go
to Antarctica.
Nope. You got to have permission. You got to. There's all kinds of stuff. Yep.
John Kerry lands in Antarctica, highest U.S. official to visit.
And he did it.
November 11th. When's the election?
I was the 3rd.
3rd?
Yep.
So this came out after, obviously.
Yep. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
For a 2-day trip. What the hell is he doing down there?
I don't know. We have bases down there.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, he's the hearing for climate change down there in Antarctica. That's where they do all their climate change.
Yeah.
meetings
It
in
just
Antarctica.
happens to coincide with U.S. elections.
Yeah. That's crazy. And then he was there again this year?
He was there again.
What's his role in government? John Kerry?
He was
I'll say he's not anymore, right? But I'm pretty sure Biden's putting him back in.
they've talked about using. I haven't followed as much of the cabinet picks because I haven't wanted to commit that to memory yet. If it's not going to happen or if it is going to happen.
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State.
And he's got a bunch of weird stuff too.
Really?
He's another one of those guys who has either like a son or a nephew or somebody involved with some of the Ukraine energy.
Oh,
crowd.
Really?
Yeah.
There's